So first and foremost, I want to thank everyone for joining us on this virtual webinar. This was brought to you by the South Bay Division. So all the districts here in the South Bay, District 12, Greg Halp District, District 21, Jeremy Conley's district, District 60, Clark Fisher's district, District 80, Marty Formico's district, District 86, Hugh C. Graves district, District 88, Kevin Scully's district, and District 91, David Pinheiro, myself included district. We brought a special guest today just to talk to you guys about finding your greatness and betting on yourself. Bobby is here locally. He lives here in the Bay Area. He was an Army brat, and he went to high school here in Seaside, California, played football, basketball, and track, attended UC Davis, graduated from UC Davis with a business major. He went to Santa Clara University. I know a couple of the people here went to Santa Clara University, graduated with a master's degree in finance, was a CFO in several companies, started a company called UMC, which he trains a lot of district managers, agents, farmers agents, and farmers customers. He's been doing this for a couple years now. He's been obviously motivational for me for quite some time. Happily married with 2 children, lives in God's country here in Gilroy. I'm just going to present none other than Mr. Bobby Bluford, and he can take over the show.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much, David. I feel extremely blessed for the opportunity to share with people my story, my vision, my passion for chasing greatness. So I'm extremely thankful and grateful for the opportunity, especially now in these crazy times. So if I get choppy, I apologize. I know we have a lot of people online here. I'll try to talk slowly. David knows me when I get into it, I can get a little passionate. So I try to keep my pace slow enough to not, interrupt the connection between me and you guys. So my story is very simple. I am an Army brat, as David said. So I grew up, my dad was in the Army for 23 years. So I grew up on or near military bases my whole life, right? For those who don't know, usually those are in suburban areas. So I grew up in schools where I was the only or one of the only Black kids in the class, typically. And for some reason, I never knew that. I never even thought about that until the 6th grade. You see, in the 6th grade, I was asked to do a presentation, much like this one. It was supposed to be 2 to 3 minutes long, and it was going to be on a current event, a current topic. For those who remember, we had to go to a newspaper and cut out an article, and I had to present to my class the topic of choice. I chose the conflict of Grenada. If you remember, that was a military conflict that our country was in. And that was my topic. So it was only 2 minutes long, guys, but I wanted to do great. I've always wanted to do great. So I spent hours preparing for this talk, hours and days getting ready, rehearsing it, right? I rehearsed it in the bathroom. I rehearsed it at home. I rehearsed it on my way to school. I rehearsed it on my way home from school. And after a week, I was ready. It was my turn to go. My teacher says, "You may go. Your turn, Mr. Robert Bluford." And my chair was in the back of the classroom. For some reason, I was always, even though my last name is Bluford with a B, I was always seated in the back of the classroom. So I had to walk my way past the class up to the front to give my presentation. Right? Now, if you remember when you were a kid, that was the longest walk ever, right? Especially if you felt awkward. So you have to walk past all your fellow classmates, and there they are looking back at you as you walk past them. You're nervous. I was nervous, and it's the longest walk ever. I get to the front of the classroom. I get up there. I'm in front of the class. It's my turn to go. She says, "Okay, when you're ready, Bobby, you can start." I'm up there just like this. A minute goes by, I'm still standing there, guys. 2 minutes go by, nothing. Now, just so you know how long 2 minutes is, go home tonight, turn your clock on, go home tonight, stay home tonight, turn your clock on, and I want you guys to time how long 2 minutes is. Now, imagine 3 minutes. 3 minutes go by, guys, and I had not said one word. Not one word. I'm in front of the classroom. I'm standing there, and not one word had come out of my mouth. I gather myself, and before the classroom can erupt in laughter, my teacher saves me. And she says, Bobby, you can have a seat. Everybody in the class give Bobby a hand. So they're all clapping for me as if I had done something. I'm embarrassed, guys. I'm ashamed. I walk past my desk, past all the desk to my desk. Again, the longest. So what was a long walk coming up to the stage is now even longer. Right? So what was a long walk coming to the front of class is now even longer going back to the class, having not said one word. So I walk to the class, to the back of the class, to my desk. I sit there as Johnny, the next person speaking, comes up. The class loves Johnny. Right? The class loves Johnny. So I'm walking back to my desk, and Johnny passes by me. They're excited to hear Johnny speak. I sit down, embarrassed, ashamed. I want to leave the world. I want to leave that classroom for sure. And I sat there, guys, and I was in tears. And I cried. Because at that point, I realized I had a stutter. And it was not until then that I realized that not only did I have a stutter, but I was the only Black kid in the class. Right? So I began this journey of self-doubt, of fear, of anxiety, of feeling inferior to just about everybody around me. And I would have been lost. I would have fallen into a pit of agony and despair, right? Had it not been for sports, right? You see, in some ways, guys, sports saved me. In some ways, sports saved who I became. Because, guys, in sports, it doesn't matter how you look. In sports, it doesn't matter how you sound or if you stutter. All that matters in sports is, can you dribble and can you shoot? Can you throw and can you catch? Can you run and can you tackle? That's all that matters. So I buried myself into sports. I buried myself. I laid claim to who I was going to be in my life in sports, and it saved me. So I played everything, guys. I played baseball for a little bit. I played basketball. But the sport that kind of told me who I was going to be and called me and called my spirit was football. Right? Because in football, not only do you have all the other attributes that baseball and basketball have in terms of not really mattering how you look or sound, but in football, you're able to take all that pain that I experienced as a stutterer, as the only Black kid, all that pain and hurt, I could take it and apply it directly to somebody else in the moment. And so football saved me from myself, really, from despair and inferiority complex and depression. It saved me, guys. And so for 13 years, that was who I was. That's how I grew. Right? I played football in middle school, in high school, at Seaside, as David pointed out. It got me an opportunity to play in college at UC Davis. So for 13 years, I was a football player. That's who I was. My confidence grew. I got bigger. I got stronger. Girls started liking me a little bit. Right? So for 13 years, that became synonymous with Bobby. Bobby and football was synonymous. And then one day in 1995, guys, I graduated and it was over. No more football. I tried to play professionally. I tried. but nothing panned out. So I was done. Right? It was over. And since then, I've spent 2 decades trying to get that back. Trying to get that Bobby back. And so, as David pointed out, I went back to school and got a master's degree at Santa Clara. Right? I parlayed that into a decade of being a chief financial officer at startups. Right? When my last company got bought out, I left corporate America and started my own fitness brand. So now I have a following on social media that's large. I have a business of helping people transform their bodies, and myself as a fitness brand has grown. And the reason I did that, or was able to do that, is because I use the same pillars, the same principles that allowed me to be successful in football. So I'm going to have you guys participate a little bit and write some things down. I want you guys to listen and absorb what I'm doing, but I also want you guys to write stuff down, a few things, right? So what allowed me, guys, to take all that success that I had in football, right? And the ability to go from high school and play in college and have some pro tryouts, I took that success and I said, you know what? I applied the same principles to every step after that, to my MBA at Santa Clara, to my CFO positions, to start my own company, to being a father of 2 kids who still love them and listen to them occasionally, to a husband who has a wife I've been with a long, long time, right? So the principles are simple, guys. Write this down, okay? So it was very simple. I made a decision before football started. I made a decision before I chased my MBA. I made a decision before wanting to be a CFO. I made a decision when I got married. I made a decision when I had my daughter. I made a decision when I had my son. And the decision was to bet on me. Right? So BET, write it down. BET is an acronym for bet on you, bet on me. And it's very simple. Everybody thinks that success in life, right? That athletes, that great athletes, that they train differently. They train differently, yes, but they think differently. Right? Their mind is the soil of their growth, of their greatness. Everyone thinks that people who are achievers in business or school, that they just have special books or seminars. No, they study differently. They think differently. Right? They have decided, as I did, to bet on themselves. So very simple, guys. Bet, B-E-T. Right? If you do these principles as I did, the same success I had in football, I parlayed that with the same exact principles to do everything else I did for the next 2 decades. Going back to school, get my MBA, being a CFO, being fit into my late 40s now. I'll be 50 in 2 years. The same principles, B-E-T. So the B is simple, guys. The B is simple. You have to start being what you want to be. Right? You don't wake up and lose 30 pounds by hope and prayer. You don't wake up and become a district manager by hope and prayer. You don't wake up and become a great father, a great husband by hope and prayer. You have to walk how they walk and talk how they talk. So when I said I want to be a football player, I decided, what does a football player at the highest level do? I was in the NFL, guys, when I was 8 years old in my head. I was already in the NFL. That's why I don't drink. I have never in my life been drunk. I got nothing against alcohol, guys. My friends all drink, all of them. Right? But at 9 years old and 10 years old, I had this impression that professional athletes don't drink. That ain't true, obviously. But I didn't know that. So my whole life, I said, you know what? What does an NFL player do? They don't drink. I didn't drink. Right? I acted like an NFL football player at age 8. when I decided to be a CFO, I wanted to be a chief financial officer, right? I started wearing a suit and tie to work every day. At the time, I had a position in a data center with 4 walls, no windows, and 5 engineers who wore sneakers and shorts to work. That's it. No women, no windows. I wore a suit and tie. Why? Because CFOs wear suit and ties. So whatever you want to be, the first step is not give me the diet, give me the workout. How do I get more? Who do I call? How many sales calls do I make? The first step is live like it and start being it. And it's hard because you wake up and the history of your life overwhelms you. So if you've been overweight most of your life, it's hard to wake up and think skinny. If you stuttered your whole life, as I did, it's hard to wake up and think motivational speaker. But you have to do it. That's why for kids, it's easy. They rehearse their dreams all day long. Like go out tonight and drive around. You'll see kids rehearsing their dream right now, playing basketball, pretending to be the president or a fireman or a police officer. They rehearse their dream because life has not told them yet they can't do it. Meanwhile, us in our 30s and 40s, almost 50s, it's harder for us, but you got to do it. So you got to start being it now. Right? The E is simple. Right? Once you start doing that, start being what you say you want to be today, it's the everyday decisions that matter. It ain't big choices. It's the everyday choices you make. When you go to bed, when you wake up, what you listen to, who you talk to, what do you do first thing in the morning? Everyday decisions, got small decisions that make big movements in your life. Right? And no one's going to save you from this, right? You know the small things you can do. I was 8 years old, had no idea about lifting weights. I could do push-ups. I could do sit-ups every day. Got a little older, knew nothing about nutrition. I knew I needed more water. I knew I needed more protein. I knew I needed less donuts. Right? So incremental everyday decisions over time make huge improvement. So the B is simple. And again, we're trying to bet on us. Right? Bet on us. The B is start being today what you want to be. Start thinking about it. Right? Start writing stuff down. How it looks, how it sounds, how it tastes, how it feels to be skinny, to be rich, to be the leading salesperson in your district. How that feels, how it looks. Start that now. And then begin changing the everyday decisions that you know you're doing wrong. You know you're doing it wrong. You can't be great spending 5 hours a day on social media, and you know that. It's simple stuff. You can't lose weight if every day you wake up, you have Cinnamon Toast Crunch in the morning. You can't lose weight like that. Simple decisions. Right? So the B, be what you want to be, start being it now. The E, everyday decisions. The T is simple, guys, and it closes the gap, right? Do it till you make it. So till, I know it's not a word, but the U didn't fit. So do it until you make it, but it's apostrophe T. I call it marrying your dream and marrying what you want to be, not dating it. Right? When people say, how do you stay in shape, Bobby? Because I decided to be in shape. I decided that I would not stop until I made it. My daughter and I have a bond. We fight all the time. But when I held her in my arms when she was a baby, I said, you know what? I'm going to be a great father until I make it. And so many of us, we date our dreams. Right? We'll be committed to losing weight, or committed to being the best salesperson, or committed to being, to get my degree. We'll do that as long as the relationship is good. As long as I don't see her without makeup. As long as I don't see him without his shirt off. That's not how it works. Right? When you get married to your dream or your vision, you say, I'm going to do it until I make it. And so I always tell my clients on day one, you tell me if there's a real reason you can't do it. Is there a real reason you can't meet all those bonuses that you want to get? All of them. The PGB, the LPB, the UQI, all of them. Is there a reason you can't do it? Like a real reason. Not that it might be hard or challenging, a real reason. And if there is, then we're done talking. And you're free to go. You're off the hook. Right? So if I couldn't talk at all, that's a real reason I can't be a motivational speaker. I can't speak at all. But if stuttering is the reason, that ain't a real reason. That's a challenge, not a real reason. So once you tell me that there's no real reason you can't do it, we commit to doing it. If you still want it. If you want to be great, and we both admit there's no reason you can't be great, then let's go get it. Simple as that. So B, simple. B, start being it now. E, everyday decisions matter. And then T, we're going to do it till we make it. Right? We deciding right now to bet on us. And no one does that. Most of us play somebody else's hand in life. Right? What your parents want you to do, what your neighborhood wants you to do, what your siblings want you to do, what your teacher thinks you can do, what your coach thinks you can do. We're playing somebody else's hand. The ones who are great, bet on themselves. And to do that, that's how you do it. Start being what you want to be now. Everyday decisions are the key, and you do it till you make it. It's that simple. It's that simple. So I did that for 25 years. Football, I did it. Applied the same BET principles, right, to finance, fitness, family. And then I got to here, guys. Got to here. 2 years ago, it came to a head. And I said, you know what? I really want to be great at speaking. I'm not here to just train people and build muscle. And I got plenty of it. I ain't here for that. I'm here to help people be great at whatever they want to be great at. But that requires this. And I was afraid. So even though I had the principles and the steps, right, and the underlying foundation it takes to be successful, I was missing one piece that I found and discovered. Right? Because I've been trying to do the speaking thing. Follow me on YouTube or Facebook. I've been doing speaking stuff on lives and on YouTube for like 3, 4, or 5 years in the same place. And then I realized what was missing. And what was missing was that 12-year-old boy that was crying in that chair was still there. And nobody went to go get him. My mom, who died in 98 when I was 26, she might have been the last person that believed in that kid. That skinny, stuttering kid. Right? And I grew out of that into this larger than life persona, but I owed it to him. And he was still there. So about a year ago, I went back and got him. I went back to that desk where he was still sitting and got him. Because I realized I couldn't be great. I could be successful. Like betting on you makes you successful, but I couldn't be great until I fulfilled that and brought all of me to life. And you guys can't either. Right? Bet on yourself is critical, but you can't be great unless all of you comes with you. All of the pain and the hurt, and we all have pain and hurt. All of it has to come with you to be great. So that's where I'm at now, guys. That's how I got here. At 48 almost. That's how I got to this point to now where I'm going to become the best speaker in the country because of all that. That's how I got here. Right? So now you know that. Now, how did farmers get here? In the 2020, right? See, part of being great in life is figuring out what team you on. Right? And part of being great on a team is realizing what kind of team you on. Right? So part of being on a great team is understanding what that team has gone through in the history. Like David's Steelers or my Cowboys or the Niners. I know, sorry, Niner fans. Or the Niners. Right? Part of the greatness is knowing what the 80s Niners did or the 90s Cowboys did or the 70s Steelers did. That's why these guys feel great, because they inherit that. Right? Great families, same thing. If your name has been around for a century and your great-great-grandfather did something great, right, you inherit that. So you are a part of a lineage in farmers that is not much unlike that. Right? It's not much different than the great families, the Ford family, or the great teams, the Niners in history. Right? So you take with you that lineage of what that company has gone through. And let me explain to you what that company has gone through in case you forgot. Since 1928 when it started, right? Year after that, the Great Depression. So the team you on started in the Great Depression. Right? If that wasn't tough enough, right? 4 world wars, 4 wars, Korean War, World War II, Vietnam War, the Gulf War. The team you're on has come through all that. The team you're on has come through all of that. 2 stock market crashes, 29 and 08. Right? The murders of some great people that almost crippled the country. JFK, MLK. Not to mention 9/11. Yeah, farmers has come through all, the team you on has come through all that. Right? The jersey you wear has come through all that. If that don't make you excited and proud of who you belong to, what you're a part of, I don't know what will. Right? So I told you where I come from, how I got here. I told you how farmers got here. Right now I'm gonna tell you how you got here. Yeah, I know how you got here. Yeah, I know you. I know how you, because you like me. You just like me, you a hunter like me. All right, let me explain what I mean by that. So if you go back generations, right, a century or two, before all this stuff around, before houses and cars and direct TV and Zoom meetings, right, life was simple. You had a village, an open space, and then a village, an open space, right? Village, open space, village, open space, right? And every village had 1 of 2 people. Right? People of 2 types. You had people who stayed there and took care of the village, right? Building, right? Mending, taking care of the young and the old, right? Taking care of the house, if you will, of the village. That's one type. Then you had the hunters. Right? Those are the guys that went out to danger, had to bring back food for everybody else, had to go find new land to conquer for everybody else, had to defend against other villages for everybody else. And there's no right or wrong, good or bad. They both needed. You need people behind to take care of the house and the village and the young people and the old people. Right? Nothing wrong with that. But that ain't us. That ain't us. That ain't us. Right? And I know that by the career path you chose. Right? Because what happens is when they come back from the hunters, from that journey, they are heralded. Right? They are exalted. Right? They are celebrated. Right? Because they risk danger. They risk anxiety and fear. But they know to be great, that's what it takes. They don't celebrate the ones who stay behind. They celebrate them. That's who I am. That's why I left a comfy corporate job that was good. I left that to be great. Just like you didn't go into something else that was easy, that could have been good because you want to be great. But that's what happens, guys. We have to go hunt. We have to go and risk danger and anxiety and fear and loss in order to receive the accolades, the exaltation, the reverence. We have to risk for that. And so that's how we got here, right? That's how you got here. I told you how I got here. I told you how farmers have got here. That's how you got here, because you're a hunter. You're not somebody in the village that stays behind. You hunt. And so now we're here, right? Now we're here. And what do? Where does that leave us? Where does that leave us in 2020, April 2nd, with all that's going on around us? With all the fear and anxiety and uncertainty, where does that leave us? For some reason, I've been excited. And David will tell you the last 2 weeks. Why? Because hunters like us need obstacles to hunt. Right? And even the best hunters, if they stop hunting, they lose what they got into it for. Like tigers, right? A tiger from the wild placed into a zoo ain't a tiger no more. Same stripes, same roar, same teeth. From the wild to the zoo, he's not a tiger anymore. The tiger needs to be free to hunt. The tiger needs a antelope to kill to be a tiger. So even though it's scary, right, and it provokes anxiety, we need this. We need an obstacle to hunt. And we probably ain't faced a bigger obstacle than what we got. Than what we got in front of us, around us, right? It's an obstacle. But that's why we're here. That's what we do. This is how we separate who we are from the people who stay behind in the village. Right? If farmers can come through 4 wars, the Great Depression, 2 assassinations, 2 market crashes, and still be here, that means somebody in those companies, in that company along the way, many bodies were hunters. And you telling me ain't no hunters here anymore? That everybody here is somebody who's in the village and wants somebody else to go hunt for them? No, that ain't who we are. That ain't who we are. So what we're gonna do, what to do now? So Coach Bobby, what can we do now? Right? I'm scared, I'm fearful, I'm anxious. I know, me too. But we built for this, we made for this. We separate from others through this. Right? So what now? What now? Well, here's what now. Right? So I grew up with asthma. Like go to the hospital and get a shot every 30 minutes until your lungs clear up, asthma. Right? But I played football with it. And so when you're a kid and you have an ailment or a disease, you don't care anything about that ailment or that disease at all. It's not even in your frame of thought, because you're a kid. All you want to do is play. But as you get older and you realize there's certain things you can get out of, like going to school, like running sprints, you begin to use that ailment as a crutch. And so I had asthma growing up. When I was younger, you had to force me to go outside. Force me to take my inhaler outside with me and force me to put a jacket on. I was a kid. But as I got older, I began to use that as a crutch. So even though I trained hard my whole life, there were moments in my life when I would use my asthma as a way to get out of stuff. like sprints in practice. So I began to use that right in high school, right? So in high school, we'd have sprints, conditioning. I would fake weeds, get out of sprints. I take that same thought process to UC Davis, right? And I won't forget it. First day of practice, we had to do a conditioning drill, 105-degree heat at UC Davis. I'm still wearing my same look that I had in Seaside, which on a hot day is 55 degrees. So I'm wearing tights and wristbands and gloves in 105-degree heat. And we're doing conditioning drills. And I'm winded. And just like I had been doing in high school, I began to wheeze. Some of it for real, some of it exaggerated. And I tell my coach, look, coach, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. And he says, okay, go sit down. I say, coach, I really can't breathe. He says, really, go sit down. I go to the sideline, right? The health staff, the training staff comes over and helps me, gives me water and my inhaler. And I'm sitting there, guys. I'm watching the other 25 defensive backs condition. And I'm sitting here wheezing, half real, half fake. And I realized in that moment that nobody cares if I can't do the conditioning drill. Nobody cares. There was going to be, I play cornerback, there was going to be a left cornerback and a right cornerback on game day, whether or not one of those was me. It didn't matter. So in that moment, I was on the knee, I got up, and I said these words that I would never, ever stop saying or forget. So what? Now what? So what? You have asthma. Now what you going to do? You going to quit? You going to whine about it? Or work through it? So what? You can't speak articulately all the time. You going to stop trying to be a speaker? So what? You had 2 babies. You done trying to get lean? So what? We in a pandemic. You going to stop trying to be a great salesperson? So what? Now what? That's how I live. So we're in this environment that's tough. So what? Now what? It ain't changing for anybody anytime soon. It ain't changing. So what? Now what? What can we do to move forward? Are we going to quit and tuck tail and run? We can't. I can't. I got mouths to feed. I have a wife who depends upon me. So what? Now what? Right? So when you have that mentality, guys, then it's a matter of figuring out what the now what is. The so what we know. Stop whining about it. So what? Now what? The now what is even easier. I'm gonna give you 5 steps, guys, to the now what. It's very simple, guys. We're gonna honor the hours in front of us. We're gonna honor the hours around us. And we got plenty of them now. Right? What does that mean, coach? Honor the hours. Well, everybody wants the honors. Everybody wants to get all those bonuses. I read it off. All the bonuses, personal growth bonus, life performance. We all want that stuff. We all want big biceps like Coach Bobby and abs. I want to show you those. We all want to be in the big house in a nice car. That's honors. We all want that. Most of us, or many of us, understand that there are hours that must be had and done and fulfilled in order to get to those honors. It takes time on task, right? Hours to get to what you want. We know that. That's common sense. We know that, right? And we have fancy hashtags, hashtag process, hashtag on the grind. So we get that. We get that. To have honors in life, I got to work for it. But what we don't understand is, and what separates greatness from success or average, is honoring the hours to the honors. Y'all see that, what I did? Right? Honoring the hours to get to the honors. That means when you show up, show up. Right? David will tell you, when I work out, my family don't call me. Don't call me or text me when I'm working out. I'm honoring the hours. Right? My wife and I sit down, watch a Lifetime movie. My boys don't text me. My phone ain't even on me. I'm honoring the hours. My daughter and I are hanging out. My son and I are playing, whatever it is, right? You have to be in the moment. Respect the work to the honors. So that's how it works. You have to honor the hours on your way to honors, right? So when we're done with this, I'm going to give you guys a poem I wrote, right? So you remember this. But for now, how do we do that? I'm gonna give you 5 things to write down, 5 things to do starting now, 5 ways that we are gonna honor the hours. 5 ways that we are gonna honor the hours to get to our honors. Number 1, guys, we have to wake up every single day with intent, especially now. Wake up with intent to be great. Don't wake up and check your social media or turn the TV on. Wake up with a vision and intention on being great that day. Every single day with purpose. Number 1. Number 2, guys, write down 3 things that you can start doing every single day that move you closer, right? The everyday habits, right? I'm going to go to bed at 10 every day. I'm going to wake up and do 5 push-ups every day. Wake up and write down affirmations every day. Something, 3 things that you know will make you better, that will become habit every single day. 3 things. Number 3, write down one way you can improve in your life, in your journey, in your career in 1 month, in 2 months. Can you be a better speaker? Can you be fitter? Can you be more confident, more organized, more disciplined, more positive? What's the one thing you can do in the next 30 days, 2 months, 3 months that you know can change who you are as a farmer's agent? What can you do? Right? That's number 3. Number 4, right? I want you guys to figure out who around you is worthy to hunt with you. Right? We ain't going out there by ourselves, guys, to hunt. So it might be people in your office, in your family, your friends. Who's going to hunt with you in this time of need? Right? So number 4, figure out who you want to hunt with. And number 5, guys, remember who you hunting for. Who are you hunting for? What got me in front of this camera today is I got 3 miles I'm hunting for. I still get nervous, right? But I walk past my wife's office and my son's playing Fortnite and my daughter's reading and they're reminding me who I'm hunting for. So the 5 ways we're gonna honor the hours are simple, right? Number 1, wake up every single day with intent, right? Don't live life by accident. Live your life on purpose and with purpose. Every day, intent. Number 2, 3 things, guys, that we can start changing every single day. 3 habits that will make us better. Number 3, one thing, one overarching habit or attribute we can change in the next month or 2 months or 3 months that will change us forever. 4 and 5, right? Who you hunting with, who you hunting for, right? Those 5 things are how we are gonna honor the hours in front of us. That's it, all right? So before I give you guys my poem I wrote to remind you of what it means to honor the hours, this is my ending story, if you will, right? I want you guys, if you want, I will send you all those things, the BET acronym, right? I will send you the 5 things we're gonna do, right? And I'll send you even a band that says honor the hours. If you text honor the hours to 44222, right? So text honor the hours to this number, 44222. And it asks you for your email, and I'll send you an outline of the Bet on Yourself acronym and the 5 things we'll do to honor the hours, right? And I'll send you a copy of the poem I'm going to read to close. All right, so this is what I wrote to remind people what it means to honor the hours. Okay, so here we go. Honor the Hours by Coach Bobby. He took a deep breath, a moment to reflect as he looked down from the mountaintop. The journey had been long and hard and full of challenge, and many, many times he had wanted to stop. He noticed all the others below, who he had once been behind, some smarter, some stronger, with advantages of every kind. He wondered why it was he and not them who had now made it to the top, why he and not them was now the cream of the crop. Many had labored and worked like he had in all the areas that are necessary to be great. They too were certain that the hours they put in would assure they and destiny would have a date. But here only he stood, humbled and proud, as his soul and his spirit spoke to him, whispering, yet still loud. Yes, you are at the top of this mountain. The honors you wanted are yours to keep. Because you have diligently sowed, you are now able to reap. More than just the work, though, his soul and spirit revealed what's true. It was a commitment to the work and not the result that had made his dreams come true. For while the others dreamed and also worked, his approach was different from the very start. He gave secondarily of his hands and feet. Primarily, he gave of his heart. All the others kept looking up, focusing on the honors on the mountaintop above. He instead honored every single moment of the process with unconditional love. He had climbed the mountain by simply marrying his dream. It wasn't because of luck or magical powers. He realized it wasn't just the work he had done, but that he had committed to honoring the hours. And that's it, guys. Go out there and be great. Your company depends on you. Your family depends on you. I depend on you. Your soul and spirit depends on you. And that's it.
So real quick to recap, BET, bring it now, everyday decisions till you make it. So what, now what? It ain't changing. And then honor the hours. And then the 5 steps I have is 1, wake up with intent, write down 3 things every day. Number 3 was 1 way you can improve. And then number 4 was who around you is worth hunting with you. And the last one is remember who you are hunting for.
That's right. That's right.
And then just so that if anyone wants, what I'll do real quick is I'll share Bobby's email with everyone out here. And if you want to email Bobby, you can email him at bobby@bobbybluford.com. And then you can text honor your hours at 44222.
Yep.
That's all right. And
I'll send everybody who text that number or text honor the hours, and then it'll ask you for your email. I will send you a recap of all that I talked about today so that it makes sense.
Or reach out to your district managers. I'll make sure that the district managers have everything that he's talking about. Okay. So listen, we appreciate everyone here. Thank you for your time. You guys spent an hour. We just want to let everyone know that we're invested in you guys 100%. All the districts I've spoken to are putting countless hours in technology, time, staffing. They're putting out videos for you guys, webinars, emails. They're reaching out to everyone at the time right now, and we're really trying to support you guys.